Alright, so I've been asked what the difference mainly is between the R1 that I had and my current bike, the 2020 Honda CBR1000RR-R SP. You can throw Fireblade on the end of that if you want, if you don't have enough alphabet soup going on. But I had a 2017 R1. So obviously that was before they did the slight engine tweaks and added some electrical stuff onto the, I think, 2020 onwards. And obviously standard R1, so no electronic suspension or nothing. So the biggest difference is obviously the full-on Ohlins suspension, which is fantastic. Like, you can literally, it controls rebound and dampening front and rear through the dash, and makes it really easy to just dial it in to where you want it. Hang on. Of course, preload front and rear has to be done manually still, which isn't too big of an issue. Like, you just turn the dial as normal. And it has electronic throttle control as well. The R1 had cables. Well, my R1 had cables. So it's a bit getting used to that as well. It's almost, there's no resistance when you're pulling the throttle, but you still have the connection from the throttle to the engine, if that makes any sense. In terms of power delivery, like, it's like a 600cc, except it's just obviously bored out to 999cc, and it's a hell of a lot smoother than the R1. Like, the R1, I've had that one on the dyno, so when you're going up through the revs, like, any R1 owner would nearly know as well, it's almost like you have 3 or 4 power bands, and every time you get, like, from, say, whatever, 1000 RPM up to 800 RPM, you have a power band there, and then, like, from 8000 onwards, it kind of feels like you have another one. And it kind of just pull all the way to the top as well, and kind of flattens out a little bit at the top, but you don't really tell when you're riding. Whereas this, it's literally like a 600cc, like below 7000 RPM, you've got basically nothing. Even though the torque is similar on the R1, like specs wise and all that. But you literally have to keep this above 7000, otherwise you're getting nowhere. And the gearing is long on this. This has been changed. Like, there's a 42 rear on the back, 520 conversion as well. So I think it's slightly more pickup down low than you'd get stock. So it means it's a lot smoother than the R1. And like the R1, because it's not as smooth, I don't think it feels a lot more aggressive. And then obviously the cross-main crank soundtrack behind that, it really sounds aggressive. Whereas this, it's literally, it's linear, it's nice. It can, I don't know, like, people might say boring, but like when you're moving on it, it's fine, and then you can apply the throttle where you want. And like Brembo brakes, because it's the SP model, you get Stylima's front, and then, I don't know, some Brembo in the rear, and then obviously Brembo master cylinder. Whereas the R1 had, what they did, Nissans or something. So already it feels nicer, but it comes with rubber brake lines on this model, but the R1, with its cheaper braking components, it has steel braided lines from factory, so might be doing an upgrade on this just to see how it performs once you have, you know, the full whack of good suspension components. This does have Brembo Z04s in them though, so they do have a nice bite off them. Brake dust gets everywhere, but they are quite nice. Also, 2017 R1, it only had Quickshifter, whereas this has Quickshifter and Autoblipper, which is also very nice. Like literally the clutch just for taking off, and that's it. Down. Another really cool feature is the indicators auto turn off. So if you turn them, indicate, make your turn, it'll just automatically shut them off, so you don't have to forget about them. It's little things that are like cool about the bike. You don't need them obviously. There's like gimmick really, but it's just like premium, you know. Everyone likes a bit of premium. Headlights, they automatically go in full beam when you start the bike. Power wise as well, going back to that, like I had my R1 on the dyno again in 2017, so before the engine upgrades on the R1s, and it was 189 to the wheel. This I haven't gotten the dyno just yet, but crank figures for this are like 214, so this should be in around 200 to the wheel. Nice one. Obviously I'll get that on the dyno and see what it actually makes. This only has an Akrapovik half line on it at the minute, so it still has the cat and everything, which isn't the end of the world. Like it's still a nice sound out of it. I don't think there's any more differences that I can think of offhand. Probably end up doing a part 2 of this when I remember a load of stuff. Again, I've only done, I think, 500 kilometers on this thing? Like, not even. About, yeah, 600 kilometers on this. Because I only got it last week. And obviously weather in Ireland could be a bit shocking sometimes as well, but we've got 20-degree weather, so out and about doing stuff. Oh, body position and seating and all that. The R1, like I'm 5'6", and it's a wide. The R1 is a wide bike. Like I was tippy toeing it. The seating was aggressive. This is aggressive as well. It's almost like I was talking to a friend yesterday and he agreed it's kind of like a 600 from the seat to the pegs, but the reach is a bit like a 1000. It's still a small bike. Like it's a small bike when you're looking at it any day of the week. But yeah, so for me being 5'6", like this is a lot better. Like I'm on like the balls of my feet instead of my tippy toes, which is nice. And the seat is a lot thinner, like not as wide, so way more comfortable. Like I'm flat footing now obviously, but I'm leaning the bike to the side a bit. In terms of electronics, like this one has engine braking. The 2017 doesn't have engine braking, adjustable engine braking. The later R1s they get that. It has anti-wheelie and traction control and all that type of stuff. I currently have it on power 2. I think it smooths the throttle out that little bit. Again, once I get it on the dyno, like I'll be able to see like what's the story? Is the electronic, is the ECU still restricted and all that type of stuff? Wheelie control 1, engine braking I have on 1. I kind of prefer less engine braking. And then your Ohlins suspension, I think you've track, rain and sport mode for the suspension. I currently have it in sport mode, and then I think I like went down 2 clicks on rebound maybe. It works off a plus and minus system, so you start on default and then you dial it back plus or minus in the settings. Like, what is it? The R1 is, I think, like 20,000 euro, 22,000 euro new out of the showroom floor, whereas one of these is like 30,000. Like, you can definitely tell it's a 30,000 bike versus the R1 being a 21,000 or 22,000 euro bike. And the red is beautiful as well. Grand Prix red. I do like a stealth all black bike, but this red is lovely in person, especially with the blue. The HRC colours. It's very nice. This also has the keyless ignition. Down here, you press the button, turns on all the electrical systems. Use your starter button then to turn the bike on as normal. As long as the key's in range, in your pocket or whatever, it'll turn on. If you walk out of range, you can't turn it on, and then obviously you can deactivate the key. So if you're going to be close by in a shop or whatever, but you're not going to be able to see your bike, you can stop it so no one can obviously start the bike. You rotate the dial forward, then it'll knock the whole thing off, or obviously just kill switch it. I am getting rear sets for it though, because it is quite a tight, or it's not actually, no, it's the distance between the foot peg and the shift lever is just not comfortable for me. I want to bring it a bit closer to each other, and so I can shift a bit better, and then also GP shift then as well. Like the R1, you get that tapped hole already. That you can just tap it out and then switch it over to GP shift. This one, it'll work as well, but just want to make it a bit more comfortable and suited to me.